Well, it's hard to believe that it's been a decade already since we started Bowhunt or Die, but here we are. Now, unfortunately, many of us are quarantined in our homes. I am here in my basement/home office, and we're looking for things to do to keep us busy until it's time to go turkey hunting. So what we decided to do was bring you guys a couple episodes here over the next few weeks encompassing what we believe are the top 10 hunts from the first 10 years of Bowhunt or Die. Now, how did we figure out what the top 10 hunts are? That's a great question. There's been hundreds of hunts that we have shown in the first decade of our show. And we've certainly run the gamut. Hunts that make you laugh, hunts that make you cry, hunts that make you sad, angry, happy. We've got it all, and we've certainly shown it all through the years. But what we did was we reached out to all 20 of our current team members. We had each person anonymously vote on their top 3 hunts from the first 10 years. And that's a difficult thing to do. It's hard to pick just the top 3, but the guys did it. We tallied all the votes together. We assembled a list of the top 10 hunts. So what we're planning on doing over the next couple of weeks is bringing you a fresh look and some narration and some insight from Todd and myself at the top 10 hunts of the first 10 years of Bowhunt or Die. We hope you guys all enjoy it. We hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. And without further ado, let's take a look at hunt number 10. It's only fitting that we start this list off at number 10 with veteran Bowhunt or Die member Dean Krieger. Dean's filmed a variety of memorable hunts in his tenure with Bowhunt or Die, but there's one hunt in particular that he will never forget, and neither will we. With his mind set on harvesting a doe, Dean heads out for an early season bow hunt over an alfalfa field, where he's had an encounter with a very recognizable deer that has a split in her ear. The night gets off to a great start where, in true Wisconsin fashion, Dean even gets a glimpse of a badger. But that night just keeps getting better, and it just so happens that a nice shooter buck makes his way out of the corn and into the field. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the field, and Dean is unable to get a shot that night. The next evening, Dean heads right back into that same farm. Now the wind has changed, so Dean decides to move down the field to a different stand and still focus his efforts on trying to shoot a trophy doe. Now, in spite of being covered up in does all night, something just doesn't feel right, so he holds off on shooting, and wouldn't you know it, across the field, that same buck pops out of the corn. But this time he walks 10 yards away from the stand that Dean was sitting in the night before.
You know, that big buck popped out of that corn, and unfortunately, he actually walked about 10 yards from the tree that I was sitting in last night. And so yeah, that hurt a little bit and makes me sick, but what do, you know? The wind wasn't right, you know, it probably wouldn't have been right for that tree anyway, because he probably would have got me. He was downwind of it. So that's it for tonight. I'm gonna turn it in tomorrow's work, and I'll have to get my kids after school, so I won't be able to go out. And the only thing I can do now is hopefully he sticks around and I can get on him by the weekend again.
Since this was a Sunday evening and Dean had to get back to work the next day, he felt like his hunting was over for the next couple of days. However, Monday rolls around and he gets a surprise phone call from his wife.
And my wife says, "Happy hunting. Go out there and get that big guy. Her mom is gonna pick up the kids after school and watch them tonight, so I owe my wife on this one. So with any luck, hopefully everything pans out and we see that big buck again tonight."
So with his sights set on this deer that he's had pictures of since the year before, he decides to move his stand and get as close as he can to the buck. And wouldn't you know it, that was the right call.
I don't believe that just happened. I just shot the buck that was out. That's 3 nights in a row. He made it to the edge of the corn, and I couldn't get back on him with the camera. There's a bunch of leaves in the way here. He stumbled around, he went around in a circle, ran into the corn, and he crashed. I pinned him. He is done. He is toast. I'm dedicating that buck to my dad. It's gonna be 15 years. I lost my dad to a tree stand accident. And right here, we didn't have a hunter safety system back then. We do now. That one's for my dad. What a buck. Right there, bow hunt or die. We got him. Here he is.
What an amazing hunt that was. Definitely one of the most memorable hunts in bow hunt or die history. There's nothing better than sharing the outdoors with your family, especially as a tribute to Dean's late father. Congratulations, Dean. That remains one of the best hunts in bow hunt or die history. Checking in at number 9 is the man himself, Mr. Todd Graf. Todd has been self-filming his bow hunting adventures for well over a decade and has certainly provided some memorable moments through the years. For his first appearance on this list, we go all the way back to 2012. After a record-breaking drought, Todd ends up with one of the only water sources within a mile radius. With rain in the forecast, Todd hopes the incoming weather change will have the deer on their feet. He decides to pull out one of his signature moves.
All I'm trying to do here, guys, is just act like two little bucks are just tickling railers. That's it.
And manages to rattle in a funky little buck, but no shooter bucks that night. After the rain moves through, Todd gives up on the water source and moves to a bedding area that is adjacent to standing corn. Things are looking up as the farmer is taking the corn in not too far from Todd's stand. Hoping that this works to his advantage, Todd settles in, and before you know it, the bucks are on their feet.
That is why I should kill zone.
As a self-filming bow hunter, you can't ask for any better footage than that. You can't make a better shot than that, and obviously, Todd is having a hard time controlling his emotion.
Justin's our buddy. I love you. I need your help.
With a plan executed, a great buck down, and great footage, this is definitely a Hall of Fame hunt for bow hunt or die. Checking in at number 8 on our list is yours truly with one of my personal favorite hunts of all time. In the early 2010s, it's no secret, I was going through some rough times in the whitetail woods.
I think I'm gonna puke. I just shot a deer that we call the fridge. Not only did I forget to hit the record button, I hit him high and forward. It's not good.
Unfortunately, it's not shaping up to be a happy ending. A real nice 3-year-old, probably a mid-130s 8-point, 16 yards wide open. I stopped him, I shot, and when I shot, the lower cam of my bow actually hit my camera arm because of the angle that I was at. Sent my arrow off track, went right underneath him. Thankfully, I missed the deer and didn't wound him, but I don't know what I need to do here. I don't know who I made mad out there, but I just can't seem to catch a break this year. Was I ever gonna kill another buck?
So concludes my 2014 hunting season. I salute you, deer, for you are clearly smarter than I am.
So heading into the 2015 season, I was ready to get things back on track. After harvesting a great velvet mule deer in Wyoming, I returned home to Illinois with a renewed sense of confidence. So in mid-October, with a significant cold front moving in, I tried out a stand on a new farm I had never hunted before. The buck sign was looking good and the deer should have been moving, but it just wasn't my night. The next day, I did a run and gun setup in a spot where I had multiple pictures of shooter bucks in daylight. My confidence was high that things were about to change soon.
If I go 2 sits in a row on my new farm without seeing a deer, it may mean I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, at least I got to see something. So not giving up yet, I headed out on an unusually cold October morning. The conditions were perfect. The action has got to be heating up. Well, maybe not.
Apparently I picked the wrong stand again for the 4th time in a row now.
But as we always say, it only takes a few seconds for your luck to turn around, and that's exactly what happened next.
Oh my God, I'm gonna fall out of this tree. Are you kidding me? I'm sitting in this tree singing my woes about how I'm the worst hunter ever and I just can't kill a deer to save my life. I look down in this bottom and sure enough, this big 9-point that we got pictures of is walking this bottom. And it was picture perfect.
After all the struggles, I finally connected and made a good shot on a great buck, and I could not have been any happier. So after a great blood trail and an easy recovery, I was able to reminisce about some of the great memories that I had made through the years that led me to this point, which is one of the most memorable hunts in Bow Hunt or Die history. All right, guys, well, there you have it. Hunts number 10, 9, and 8 in our top 10 list from the first 10 years of Bow Hunt or Die. We hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys want to leave some guesses on what you think the top hunts are going to be, or maybe just let us know what your favorite hunts from over the years are, please leave your comments below. We appreciate it. We hope everybody is staying safe and healthy out there. We can't wait to hit the woods, go turkey hunting very shortly. Guys, remember to wash your hands, stay in the house, stay safe, and as always, Bow Hunt or Die, baby.